All right, let's talk about Samay Raina. We're going to break down how one single joke, a joke he didn't even tell, pushed him right to the edge. This is a crazy story, really, about surviving a massive online mob and what you learn when your entire career is about to go up in flames.
And this quote from Samay, it just perfectly sets the stage, doesn't it? That is a cynical, brutally honest take that he definitely learned the hard way. This whole thing is really a story about that super fragile line between who you are online and who you really are, and what happens when that line just completely shatters for the whole world to see.
Okay, so section one, the joke that broke. Look, to really get how big this fall was, you have to understand just how high up he was. I mean, before all this went down, Samay Raina was on top of the world. In his own words, he was the king.
And the scale of his success, I mean, it was just staggering. His hit YouTube show, India's Got Latent, was pulling in views from 4 crore unique devices every single month. That's 40 million. Think about that. He wasn't just some comedian on YouTube, he was a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
Now, this is the part you really gotta pay attention to. The whole firestorm, the thing that almost ruined him, it didn't even start with something he said. Nope. It was a joke made by a guest on his live stream. But you know how it is in the court of online outrage? Context? It just doesn't matter. He was the host, so the blame landed squarely on his shoulders. So, section two, an inferno of outrage. And listen, what happened next wasn't just backlash. Oh no, it was a full-blown inferno. The speed, the intensity of it all, it was like nothing he'd ever seen before. And it just escalated way faster than anyone could have possibly imagined. I mean, just look at this timeline. Day one, a clip goes viral. By day two, national news channels are debating it. And by day three, he's got multiple police complaints, actual FIRs filed against him. In just 72 hours, it went from a stupid Twitter clip to a national news story with very, very real legal threats. The digital mob was out for blood, and the real world was catching up fast. And get this, it wasn't just anonymous trolls on the internet. We're talking about condemnation from every corner of Indian society. You had politicians weighing in, celebrities, media pundits, even rival comedians were piling on. And then, and this is the wild part, even the actor who played Shaktiman, India's own superhero, was publicly calling him out. Can you imagine? The pressure was just immense, coming at him from literally everywhere. All right, section three, crisis point in America. And of course, the timing for all of this could not have been worse. As this absolute hurricane of hate is brewing back home, where's Sam? He's in the United States, on the biggest, most important tour of his entire life. He had no idea the crisis was about to hit its absolute peak. So what was on the line? 8 crore rupees. That's what he stood to lose. People were literally demanding he be brought back to India to face the music, which would mean canceling his sold-out US tour. We're talking about $1 million, give or take. Everything he had worked for was just, poof, about to disappear. You know, the money is one thing, but the psychological toll, that was devastating. Picture this. He's just minutes away from walking on stage to make thousands of people laugh. And where is he? He's backstage, having a severe anxiety attack. Heart pounding out of his chest, sweating, just completely falling apart. He couldn't make sense of any of it. And then he got the news that pushed him over the edge. In his own words, my heart sank like anything. I got so scared. And why? Because he found out the chief minister of Assam, the chief minister, had personally filed a police complaint against him. Think about that. This wasn't just Twitter hate anymore. This was the full power of the state coming down on him. For a comedian, that is a terrifying, terrifying new reality. So here he is, at absolute rock bottom. He's lost, he's alone, he's scared. And that's when a phone call changed everything. It was his dad. And that one conversation gave him the exact perspective he so desperately needed. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got Samay totally panicking, thinking, my life is over, everything I've built is gone. He'd completely tied his identity to his work. But then on the other side, you have his father's view. So calm, so simple. He just said, the show exists because of you. You don't exist because of the show. Wow. What a powerful way to separate the man from the persona. A perfect reminder that your self-worth has nothing to do with your fame. And where did this incredible wisdom come from? Well, his father is a Kashmiri pundit. He had literally lost his home, everything, and was forced to flee.
So he puts it all into perspective for Samay. He says, listen, I didn't cry when I lost my home in Kashmir. And just like that, suddenly, losing a YouTube show, it didn't seem like the end of the world anymore. Talk about a reality check. Okay, so Section 5, the survivor's playbook. Armed with this completely new perspective, Samay didn't just survive this thing. No, he came back smarter, wiser, and with a whole new set of rules for how to play this incredibly treacherous game of online fame. He actually calls it the Kashmiri Pandit's wisdom, and it's so practical. Step 1, assess the fight. Really look at the situation you're in. Step 2, ask yourself, is this fight even fair? Do I have a real chance of winning here? And step 3, and this is the big one, if not, then you flee, you get out. Because when a fight isn't fair, when you're up against an insane online mob or powerful people, the bravest thing to do isn't to be a martyr. It's to retreat, survive, and live to fight another day. So in the end, his whole idea of what fame even is completely changed. He realized his public persona, it's not him. It's a character he plays on the internet, and he sees it as a game now. But the goal of the game isn't to be your most authentic self or create pure art. No, the goal is to set a high score in your bank account and, most importantly, protect your own sanity. So what are the big takeaways from all this? They're actually pretty profound. First, detach your identity from your work. You are not your job. Second, in an unfair fight, just surviving is the victory. Third, family. Family is the ultimate perspective, the only real anchor in a storm. And maybe the biggest one of all that chaos of public perception, you just have to treat it for what it is, a game. And don't ever let it consume you. And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Samay's story is a pretty stark warning about the dangers of being authentic online, in a world that seems to love punishing it. So you have to ask yourself, on today's internet, in this age of instant outrage and cancellation, what is the true price of being yourself?